Hey, what's up everyone, it's Eddie from Eddie's Emporium. Today I'm going to be showing you how to use a Photopea template in order to make your graded card photos or product photos kind of go to the next level by making it as generic and as automated as possible. Because if you're like me, you've got no experience with kind of editing Photoshop, you're your own boss and you do all your listings, you want to automate these things as much as possible. Take something from like this to something like this in pretty much a 2-click thing once you have this set up. So what you want to do first is go onto File, once you're on Photopea, click New and create a preset. I'm just going to call this example for example's sake. 2500 by 2500 pixels, because this allows you to zoom, or more importantly the user to zoom on your images without kind of getting distorted. And it creates a square template. I like square because Shopify works for me in having square images. It might not work for you. You might have a different preset format template. Just go with that. Square is what I'm just going to stick with today because that's what I know. So you'll have a white background when you set this up. I quite like to firstly drag my logo in, because when you have logos, it's loaded for a watermark. It shows authenticity, brand recognition. If they have people having good experiences with you, they're more likely to shop with you again if they see that on a marketplace like eBay, TikTok, Vinted, wherever you want to kind of post these images. You will then have your logo put into that and it might convert more sales. So I'm going to put in my transparent PNG logo. I'm just going to place it in the bottom right corner here. Make it nice, clear, visible for any person coming in. And once I've kind of got a place that I want, get into the habit of locking it down, because that means nothing can be edited after, which is really handy because if you've got sausage fingers like me, you're more likely to misclick and then delete work. Today, I think I'm going to use my Deoxys logo. I believe it's this one here. Drag and drop that onto here, and we're going to move that to the top. Now this is great. We've got a lovely background, but quickly make sure that the Eddie's Emporium is at the top, popping through. Right, we've got a lovely base of operations. Now, it's really important that we convert this to a smart object, because what that'll do is when we delete and re-put in images, it will just kind of swap in the adjustment layers. Won't make any sense to you, but basically we're creating a lovely filter like on Instagram or anything like that, that will then apply over the image as we've got this hierarchy system in place. So now what you want to do is you want to go onto the image and you want to create a new adjustment layer. Then we've got exposure here. I want to make sure that my logo is at the top so that doesn't have any impact on the color branding of my logo. The exposure will only go down the hierarchy. It won't apply to the ones above it. So once you click into exposure, you want to add a 0.45 color, and you can see that's bringing out enough there. Then we've got like a 0.02 offset. Oh, no, maybe it's a bit aggressive, that one. A 0.1 offset, and then we're going to have gamma correction around 0.98, so we're just going to keep it 1 anyway. So once we've got that, we're going to go into the levels adjustment layer. So go into layer, adjustment layer, hit levels. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add a 5, and then we're going to add a 1.05, and then we're going to add a 245, and make sure that that is always at the top. Then once we've got that there, we're going to go into the brightness and contrast adjustment layer, new one. Always make sure that the image is creating it there, and we're going to try and keep this hierarchy in order here, that it applies to the next one, to the next one, to the next one, because if you switch the order, it will obviously apply different settings in a different order, and that will affect the overall edit. But as you can see right now, we're already looking 10 times better. So we're going to make sure that the legacy is off, and then we're going to change the brightness. Now this is a small polish. We're not here to rescue the image. We should already be in a good position from the image that we've took on our phone. Make sure it's in a good quality, because when you're uploading it to, say, your Google Drive and re-downloading it, this will compress bit by bit, and you'll see that in a later part of the image. So we want the image to maybe about 10, contrast to maybe around 6, because we've got some good colors in here. We want them to really be popping. Obviously change that depending on what style you're going for, but the idea of this, and this is really important, we're here to enhance the image as it is seen in hand. We're not here to create an image or falsify what people will be buying. We're here to just show off its beautiful as it is in hand color scheme, which obviously when it's behind plastic sometimes it's dulled, and that's really important obviously from you as a marketplace seller to really showcase that to the best of your ability, and this is what this preset does. So next we're going to add a new hue and saturation layer. Now we're going to do this on the master area here, and we're going to go on to about saturation of about maybe 6. We've got a lot of color here. We've got a lot of stuff moving in. You can add lightness to it, obviously not too much. Remember, we've got the master one, which is everything and more. You can add specifics to this certain areas. So let's say if we were to add some saturation to specifics, the reds, the yellows, you can do different bits to different areas depending on the color of the card that you're doing, but we're here to make sure that this is gonna pop, and some blues too. Now this is something you fill around with yourself. It's not something I'm gonna be saying that you need to do by law, but I would never exceed anything by like 6 to 8. I think that's probably like the honest metric in which you can scale it without kind of something like this being a crazy like in your face color, and it won't reflect what it's like in hand when you sell it to someone. So we're going to add the color balance layer next. So right now we are in the highlights area. We want to make sure that we have the colors. We want to go into the mid-tone section. We want to make sure that these are popping correct. Magenta green, we've got some green at the bottom here, so let's have a look. Make this one pop. And got some blues behind that. Now you can do minus. Obviously, if we go to the highlights now, do like a minus on the blues. If you want it to be obviously a bit more true, might do -1 here. So the idea of this, it's trying to remove the kind of warm, the gray kind of colors of the slab. It's trying to make it look very clean, very studio white. And because with things like Pokemons and other ones, this is like an additional win. Add the adjustment layer and then go into the curve section. This one looks quite intimidating. I was quite intimidated when I was kind of working with it for the first time, but this is kind of like your shadows, midtones, and then you've got your highlights here. So you want to create kind of 3 key bits throughout this part here. Don't worry about it. So when you click on each one, they will highlight. And once you've got here, you will do like a 45, 42 area. Then click onto your next one. You will have a 145 by maybe a 160. And you can see like this massively changes. So you're trying to create a tiny S, and then we'll do like a 230 by 230. As you can see here, we've got good whites behind. We've got the Deoxys looking really good. You've got the colors, the universe is really popping behind it, but the Deoxys is in the front of the frame. The Orbital looks great. It's really bringing this image to life. So once you have this kind of prepped, I like to do a group situation here. So Control G for groovy. And then you can lock that. So in the future, when you do swap out images or you're clicking about, you're not gonna, in any way, shape or form, change the quality of the edit. And so when you want to expose this, in fact, I'll give you an example of what it looks like before and now after. It really, really looks great because you've got this fantastic, like someone's turned on like a light and you suddenly seeing it for all its beauty, all its worth. It's got that studio white polish behind it. You can obviously choose to frame the image in a bit more of a kind of cleaner edit, but I'm not going to do that this video just because this is about the template. And then once you are ready to export it, it's really important that you look at exporting as a JPEG, especially if you've got your own website, because at Eddie's Emporium, if a image, or Shopify recommends that you have no image kind of above like 600 to 800 KBs. That's just on the basis that if you have like 1,000 images at about 7-8 megabytes a second, you know, if you think about internet speeds and people varying, load times are going to be massively hindered by you having these great quality images, but the user experience and people will drop off your site quite quickly. So you want to make sure that you kind of are roughly around no more than, I would say, if you've really got a good quality, high grade photo or slab in this instance, like if it's worth, you know, tens of thousands, do invest that quality. But if you're doing your everyday slabs, I would probably aim for around 800 to 900 or below at maximum, and then you can export that as a JPEG here. If I hit save and open up this example, you can see here we've got this beautiful deoxys that just really stands out from the crowd. If you saw this on eBay, you know, it's going to be really good to zoom in on, really good to just showcase all its beautiful colors in all its worth. And just as an example, we'll delete this image. Here's one I downloaded earlier. I think this would be a Charizard. And if I turn off the color here, you can really see immediately, like this is it when I took the photo in the photo box with controlled lighting, and this is it with the photo box in controlled lighting with the edits. Look at the color difference. It's crazy. And that's it for this video. It's just a quick one to show you, as much as I love editing and making sure everything's as perfect as possible, it's not always possible when you do run a store and you've got so many commitments to do. Even if you're just doing this to have something to use, it's a free, affordable and automated process that will help you create them high quality listings that will stand out from the crowd. It certainly helped me since I've started doing this. I've started shifting so many more slabs just because I can show them in the best light. And of course, tinker with it. No preset's always going to be perfect for you, but this is to give you an idea, something out the box that you can really just use to your maximum potential. And if you did like the video, just please, I would massively appreciate if you give it a like, subscribe, share it with some friends who are trying to do the same thing as me, because I certainly struggle to find videos of affordable and not trying to sell me a course. There are great people out there with massive skill sets, but this is a starter guide and we're trying to make it as entry level as possible and kind of keep it there, because it's not for everyone to edit at that level. And yeah, I hope that you find this handy. Let me know if there's anything else that you want me to kind of cover that I might have learned so far. Certainly helped me a lot. So I'll catch you on the next video. Ciao.